From the Integrity Commission tabled in the Senate on Friday makes for very interesting reading. In it, the former chairman of the commission, retired Justice Seymour Panton, takes aim at the president of the Senate, saying that he seems to misunderstand his role. The document, as I note, has very much details concerning the spending of the Integrity Commission over the course of the fiscal year, including an eye-catching line item which shows a significant increase in the amount the Commission spends on food and entertainment. That aside, the Commission details the work it has done over the period, including a review of the statutory declarations of over 70 parliamentarians. It has completed that, even though it is behind significantly in the number of overall declarations that it has managed to examine and make a decision on. This evening on Lead Story, I take the document and go through some key aspects of it for you to make you aware of what the Commission says about the work it has done over the course of the fiscal year, and of course the opinions of the rather strong-willed, highly respected and opinionated former chairman, retired Justice Seymour Panton. All of that to come over the next half an hour or so, so let's start the show. No time to waste. So I want to ease you into the proceedings on this Monday evening. So just before we go into the heavy lifting, I say heavy lifting because there are details involved, but it's nothing complicated. Before I do that, though, there's a nice little brief on the Integrity Commission report that I think is necessary to be delivered to you at this time.
The report indicates that a total of 71 parliamentarians who were required to file a statutory declaration have done so. However, the report also revealed that investigations are underway with 2 parliamentarians and 4 public officials currently under investigation for illicit enrichment. Furthermore, the report states that 2 parliamentarians and 4 public officials are under investigation for providing false information. The numbers align with those under investigation for illicit enrichment. The report does not specify the total number of members of Parliament MPs currently under investigation, given that previous reports made reference to MPs who were under scrutiny. The report also provides a comparative analysis by including data from 2018. Since 2018, the Integrity Commission referred a number of public officials for investigation due to potential illicit enrichment and/or the provision of false information. This included 13 MPs, 1 senator, 7 councillors, 1 permanent secretary, 7 heads of entities, and 36 other public officials, totaling 65 individuals. Since 2018, a number of public officials have been referred for prosecution for failing to provide information. This included 10 MPs, 3 senators, 1 councillor, 1 permanent secretary, 1 head of entities, and 5 other public officials, totaling 25 individuals. The report also outlines the number of rulings that resulted in charges or prosecution. These rulings involved 1 MP, 2 councillors, 1 head of entities, and 1 other public official, totaling 5 individuals. Angela Melville, CVM News.
Thank you, Angela. Break time here on Lead Story on this Monday. Back with more after. Welcome back to Lead Story here on CVM. So we start at the very top where the report from the Integrity Commission is concerned. Just recall that the report covers the reporting period April 1, 2024 to March 31, 2025, covering the 24-25 fiscal year. So the matters it is reporting on occurred in that period, though it does go into the past for analysis and perspective to give the Jamaican public a broader understanding of the work that is being done. I start with the words of the former chairman, the man whose term expired during the course of the fiscal year, Seymour Panton. He said, there is a problem with the Commission's ability to recruit staff. And this was something strongly emphasized in the report, to say that the Commission was not at establishment level where staffing was concerned, and that when it did the exit interviews, staff left the Commission because of security issues. And the Commission, in the report, made great play about the expenses involved in training new staff and preparing them for the work at hand. It spoke about the disruption to the procedures and to the work getting done. And this is a real thing that they were grappling with And Seymour Panton, in his remarks, noted the difficulty attendant to the work of the commission occasioned by the turnover of staff at the IC. He notes that, look, it is the IC established to promote ethical conduct and good, honest governance by all public officers. And I want to get to the section where he speaks about the early days of his chairmanship and the fact that he made it clear from very early that, look, there would be no misconduct among public officials would not be tolerated. And he noted, the chairman, the ex-chairman did, that there was some resistance, but that he was now in a position, as he was departing, to communicate to the public that there was great cooperation with the commission from among public officers. He made a statement concerning the legislature, and this is where it gets interesting now. He noted, Seymour Panton did, that some members of the legislature who are part of the governing party adopted, he says, an antagonistic stance, his words again, towards the commission to the point where they regularly made false statements inside and outside the parliament while libeling commissioners and staff members. The retired justice would have forgotten, of course, that libel is no longer in the books. It's defamation, but we won't quibble over that. But it's a point, the substance of the point he made that is relevant, I think. He believes that the antagonistic stance of some legislators towards the commission was evident when they sat in the legislature and even outside, and he noted one female legislator in particular who was, in his view, engaging in conduct that was not of the highest standard. He said of that female legislator that she went to the extreme of using what he called anti-social media platform to post images of members of the commission and attaching outright lies, he says, that many have interpreted as an invitation for the commissioners to be harmed. Now, this is a serious charge from the retired former justice. Yeah, this female legislator, he says, posted pictures of the commissioners and by doing so invited the public to do harm to them. That was his interpretation. And then he went further to say, even the youth arm of that party joined in attacking and libeling the commissioners, and that he regarded this whole scenario as shameful. Now, he did not mention a party before. So when he said, even the youth arm of that party, it would seem to suggest that he had stated a party before, he had identified a party before, but he did not. He identified a legislator, and clearly he's talking about the government. So he's blaming the government and that government legislator, and then he's blaming the governing JLP. So it's the legislator and the party that were both in the crosshairs of the former justice, the retired Justice Panton, when he speaks about legislators making the lives of the commissioners difficult, calling or inviting harm to them. Very, very serious charge. He continued that the actions of some legislators really surprised and disappointed him. And he noted that he wrote to the Speaker of the House about a certain legislator who he said had taken on the lead role in the effort to dismantle the commission by the removal of the Auditor General and altering the qualifications for membership of the commission. Now, clearly, Seymour Panton has concluded that there is a concerted effort, or let me not say concerted because he didn't say concerted, but that there is an effort, or there was an effort, he's no longer in place. There was an effort by the government to weaken and dismantle the Integrity Commission. And that this legislator, who he has written to the Speaker about the legislator's behavior, has taken on the lead role in that regard. He didn't name names, but anybody with I almost said eyes, but even my friends who are not blessed with sight can see that he's talking about Everald Warmington, given Warmington's record of rhetoric against the commission. Warmington at times has appeared to be bellicose, has appeared to be pugnacious in his criticism of the commission. And no doubt he is the one that Seymour Panton is talking about when he talks about the lead role that individual has taken where the attack, the effort to dismantle the commission is concerned. Startling language from the retired former justice, because he has not given any evidence to support his claim that that is in play. But again, those are his words. He says, not only has the gentleman remained, the individual remained a member of the Integrity Commission, the committee in Parliament reviewing the Integrity Commission Act. He wrote to the Speaker asking for that individual to be removed, which is rather an odd request because here is a non-parliamentarian, as Seymour Panton was, writing to the Speaker of the House, the Leader of Parliament, asking for someone, a parliamentarian, voted in by the people and sent there to do the Parliament's business, asking for that individual to be removed. Rather odd request, but he did not get any ground. There was no give by the Speaker on that, and Seymour Panton brought that issue up in his last statement as chairman of the commission. He says that he fears that the committee, that review committee, seems to be prepared to dismiss the views of the Solicitor General on the removal of the Auditor General from the sitting as a commissioner, and that, you know, it is bad and it is heading the way the Integrity Commission of the political ombudsman, which many people feel has been emasculated. Then he moves on to say, in the Senate, the president seems to have misinterpreted his role. He says, as they appointedly were there, instead of encouraging compliance with the requirements of the Integrity Commission Act, the Senate President, Tom Tavares Finson, regularly displayed hostility towards the commission and on occasion was heard on radio calling for the resignation of the commissioners and officers. He seems to have been offended by the fact the commission was submitting reports that called into question the conduct of some public officers. So that is true. Tom Tavares Finson has been heard on the radio, has been seen in the public space calling for the commissioners to resign. And it is no secret that there's no love lost professionally between both men. And Seymour Panton, in his parting shot, aiming his crosshairs at the Senate President and saying that you, sir, do not understand your role, because rather than encouraging the members of the Senate to comply with the Integrity Commission, yes, you are encouraging dissent, and you, by your actions, are trying to destroy this entity, this organization. Fighting words there from the former chairman, Justice Seymour Panton. More from the report. So I keep referring to Seymour Panton as former chairman of the IC, and it is true because during the course of the financial year, he was replaced by retired Justice Carl Lawrence Beswick, who took over as chairman. And there was one new addition, the former BOJ Governor Central Bank boss, Brian Winter, taking over from Eric Crawford, who called time on his tenure as a commissioner. Where statutory declarations were concerned, what did the IC report about its work over the course of the fiscal year? Well, it noted that at the end of the reporting period, March 31, it recorded a 76% compliance rate for public officials and 81% compliance rate for parliamentarians, where the filing of a statutory declaration is concerned. This reflects well, I believe, on the work of the commission because, I mean, Jamaicans like to tell you that the place is corrupt and people are trying to hide, but the fact that our public officials, especially, our public officials and especially our parliamentarians, 81%, there's room for much, much more improvement. 76%, there's room for a hell of a lot of improvement. So where the public officials are concerned, there's need for significant improvement, uplift in that regard, and politicians still have ground to cover where 81% is concerned. I'd like to see, 100% is the target, you'll never get that, so high 90s would suffice. The commission says that during that reporting period, it examined close to 12,000 statutory declarations, 11,763 to be precise. Now, this is good news because it says that this 11,763 represents almost an 800% increase over the previous reporting period. So it does suggest that the commission really cracked down in the year gone and really examined the statutory declarations that were on the books. The criticism has always been that for what is paid to, what is provided to the commission in terms of funding, the number of declarations it actually examines is woefully low. It made a serious effort towards changing that narrative. Now, in context, the number it examines relative to the number it gets, the number it examined is still low. But if you, in response to that criticism or in response to that reality, go and examine 800% more than the previous reporting period, then you can't be faulted for your effort. And I think the commission has to be congratulated where that is concerned. It said that it completed the examination of the statutory declarations of all sitting parliamentarians for the period 2018 to 2023. That's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 6 years worth of declarations of parliamentarians. All of those have been examined and sorted out, except for those where they have been referred for investigation. Yeah? There's a matter there, there's a point that they made during the report about the rise in protected disclosures. People going to their employer to report to report illegal activity on behalf of their colleagues that they have witnessed. So the number of people doing that to their employer has risen. The number of people doing that directly to the commission has also risen, which of course are two things which suggest that there is confidence in the institution of the IC and people feel as if they will get justice. Jamaicans, like everybody else, if you feel you won't get justice, you won't use the tools available to you to call out injustice and illegality. And the fact that more people are going to their employers to make these reports, more people going to the Integrity Commission directly to make these reports, does suggest that people are more confident in the process. In terms of, well, let's move to the section concerning the statutory declarations. I spoke to that already to say that the members of parliament are doing much, much better where filing their statutory declarations are concerned. And that the 71 parliamentarians whose declarations were filed, they were filed on or before the applicable deadline date of August 31, 2024, February 28 this year, and March 31 this year. Now, 17 parliamentarians in the period submitted their declarations after the reporting period, after the deadline rather. So they were given deadlines and 17 filed after the deadlines had been exhausted, but at the time of the report, all who were required to file had done so. I spoke about staffing at the top, and it is an important issue where the commission is concerned, because what the commission said was that, look, in the reporting period, voluntary separation of 16 employees, that's what happened, 12 of them resigned, 2 temporary officers didn't continue, and they didn't renew the contract of 2 full-term contract. That's what FTC means. 2 full-term contract employees, their contracts weren't renewed, and then there were 4 officers who were the subject of involuntary separation. The staffing issue is real because, again, here's what you have. You have people in the public sector who are working at the Integrity Commission. They look around the public sector and they see entities that are offering jobs in their field, but they're offering more money. They're paying more than the commission is able to pay. So it's almost a no-brainer. If it is that I can go somewhere else to work in my area for more pay in the public sector with the benefits that abound, why not? So they've moved on for this reason. They've also moved on for the very reason of security. The commission said in the report several times, if you read the 200 plus pages, that during the exit interviews, when they asked people, so why are you leaving? Several persons cited the issue of security. Now, of course, the Integrity Commission has been weaponized. It's been the proverbial, well, it's been the political football that has been kicked from pillar to post now for almost 2 years. The matter concerning the Prime Minister's statutory declarations, the defense by the Prime Minister of his position, the attack by the opposition, seeing that as the Achilles heel of Andrew Holness and the JLP administration. So the Integrity Commission has been in the news heavily. And once that happens, and then the political forces align behind their side, whatever their side is saying, that's the side they support, and suddenly the commission and its employees become fair game for the kind of inane, insane, and downright dangerous criticism that some people level at it. People at the commission say, listen, this has played a part in me not feeling secure working here. That is a part of what I'm leaving. So that's a part of the record in the exit interviews at the IC. Why it is that several people who left during the term actually moved on. They raised the issue of the public sector restructuring, the compensation restructuring exercise, in which some people got significant increases, others didn't. Again, if you're at the IC and under the restructuring, your pay didn't go up by much, but you see elsewhere in the public service where a job that suits the skill sets that you have, after the revision, it is now paying significantly more, you're going to go. So again, where investigations are concerned and the processes that the Integrity Commission has to go through to certify a statutory declaration, to investigate people for illicit enrichment or for providing false information, these processes get affected when the staff move on. And I'm very happy that they made great play. Well, not made great play, but that this is listed in the report as a matter of record, that this is one of the problems that the Integrity Commission has as it seeks to execute its mandate. You know, there's a line in the budget section, the annex section of the report that concerns entertainment and meals. And people have made a joke of it. I've seen several TikTok videos with persons asking, how is it that the Integrity Commission could have spent $7 million more on entertainment and meals in the last fiscal year than it did in the fiscal year before? And the political forces have taken the issue hostage. But I think that it is beyond that. It is a serious question. How is it that that expenditure is explained? And I think the Commission needs to face the media at a time to be agreed, well, at a time it feels convenient, yeah, rather pretty soon, and explain something like this. The issue of security, the Integrity Commission spent about $45 million more on security in the last fiscal year than it did before. What about the procurement of the security services? What gave rise to this significant increase in the security budget? These are questions that need to be answered. Also, the Commission said it paid $2.9 million for auditing services in the 23-24 fiscal year. Yet by 24-25, the last fiscal year, the fiscal year that is the subject of this report, those audit services were now costing $7 million. How come the almost $5 million jump in the provision of audit services? What different has happened? What has changed about the auditors used? These are the questions that Jamaicans need to have answered to get even a better idea into how the Commission goes about its work and the very real issues that the Commission faces in doing the work that it is mandated to do, that it is duty-bound by law to do. Also, the compensation of the commissioners stipend, well, the fees paid to them has increased. Our commissioners are now collecting $41 million between them among them for the services that they provide. And individual officers have seen their pay increase significantly. Some of them, one person's salary